Hi everybody, I'm Dahlia with Dalia's Dishes and Destinations. Today I have my sous chef. And my sous chef's name is Kylo Mitchell, my grandbaby, my first grandbaby. That's going a little, we gotta calm down here, son, calm down. All right, everybody, we are gonna make two different dishes today. The first one is gonna be
Black con salchicha.
arroz con salchicha. No.
Arroz, salchicha.
Yes, and he asked Alexa yesterday to put that on the grocery list for mommy and daddy. So Abuela decided she was going to make that today for his lunch. And we're also going to make green steak. We're going to make green steak because he wanted to make a green pepper sauce. He asked me if I had any green peppers because he wanted to make a green sauce. So I told him I didn't know how to make a green sauce. I knew how to make sofrito and that we would make green steak. That's what his mommy and daddy, or maybe more like his mommy and his tío and his tía, they used to eat when they were little. They used to like green steak. We're going to start off with our seasonings. We're going to puree our veggies, and we're going to get started in the kitchen, and hopefully it'll be a success. What do you think? You think it'll be okay? We'll do okay? Yeah? You're not going to stab my steak? No, we're going to cut the steak. And we're going to measure with our measuring spoons? Okay. All right, everybody. Here we go. In this clip, our very first clip of us cooking together, I'm teaching Kylo how to measure with the measuring spoons, and I'm teaching him how to make the counts in English and Spanish. I teach him the seasonings in English and Spanish. They're simple ingredients. You're just your salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, and oregano. I like to have the big jars of my seasoning just because I hate refilling them or buying little bottles and having all these little bottles falling over all over my seasoning cabinet. We learned to measure with just my regular measuring spoons. He has his own little set of junior kitchen knives, and I'm not sure if it came with the measuring spoons, but they got left at home, so we didn't get to use those. We took a knife from his toy kitchen, play kitchen, here in my playroom, and he used that to cut. It actually cuts really good. I mean, not like a knife, it just cuts it. So he learned how to cut the onions and the green peppers and how we diced and smashed the garlic. He also learned to use the KitchenAid blender, which you'll see he doesn't like the loud noise. But in my house, between the bird, his little brother, my mother, his great grandmother, talking in the background, there's not very much quietness going on in my house ever. It starts at 6 in the morning and we go until 11 at night. We pureed all our onions, and now we're pureeing our green peppers. It was a little tricky once in a while for him to keep his hands on his ears and not over his eyes, rubbing his eyes from the onions. But with time, he'll learn. Next time I bring him to the kitchen, I'll make sure to bring his knives so he can learn how to cook and cut and measure and learn it in English and Spanish. We're going to finish doing our sofrito, our base. We're finished making that for both dishes. Once both dishes are made, we'll let them cook low and slow, like I've said. But we're going to start now after we've pureed with sauteing all the meat into our pan with olive oil. Once they've been nicely charred, We will saute them for a little bit longer and then add our veggies. The veggies really don't need much, in the sauteing. It's just to let them consume some of the moisture, some of the water that comes from the veggies. But once you've done that, on your base, your sofrito, you mix it back together with your meats, cook it a little bit, for a little bit low and slow, and then with the sausage, the salchicha, we'll add it to our rice cooker. Right now, he's mad because his flame isn't as high as mine and doesn't hear a sizzle. He wants to hear it sizzle like mine is. I wasn't ready for the high heat for my little one. But he learned how to put his hand behind his back or hold the handle. Made sure that he was paying attention and not even getting near the stove. I did not want any casualties of having some little burns and him going home. Right now, I just added my olive oil. I'm going to add my sofrito back, my base back to my pans. I've drained both my meats. My sous chef has hightailed it and left on me. So I'm just sauteing my onions in one pan and already sauteing my green peppers and onion in my other. I add my red wine to my steak recipe. I'm not adding any wine or beer to my yellow rice like I would if I was cooking it for a big crowd of people. But being it's just for the little ones today, I'm not adding it. It tastes good either way. The grandkids never complain. I add the steak back to my base, mix it really well. Then I'm going to lower my heat and let it cook real low and slow. It's pretty much cooked almost through, but now I'm just going to let it cook slow so that it will tenderize the meat. We use a sirloin steak or top of the round steak, but we also use beef and chicken and pork for this recipe. We use also peas. We add peas to the steak and add the hash browns, like I said at the beginning. You can add corn if you want instead of peas. It doesn't matter. It was just something to get the kids to eat. And if they didn't like it, they had to spend the time picking it out. Eventually, they get tired of picking it out and they go ahead and eat it and start liking it again. I add my smoked sausage to my sofrito, my base now, and I mix it really well so that it's blended so I can make my white rice with my azafran seasoning. I will add this to the white rice. It's the Goya packages of the azafran. I put that inside my rice cooker and then I've already got my white rice and the water already measured in my rice cooker. So now all I'm going to do is add my smoked sausage and my sofrito, my base, to the rice cooker. We will just add it all together. And it's a little tricky because I got this big, huge pan, but we do it. We make it. It's all good. Right now, I'm going to take off the heat of my pan, get my big pan of salchicha and sofrito, add it to our rice cooker. We're going to have a few drips, but we clean it up. It's okay. Everything's mixed together. Remember, if you feed them, they will come. The beauty of making movies is that after I close this top, our meal is done. Remember, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, here's the beauty of making movies. Cool. And finally, our two meals are done. My sous chef is ready to eat. His plate is all served. Kylo, are you hungry? You hungry? All right, well, his baby brother's hungry too. Our arroz and our green steak and rice and black beans are finished. We are ready to eat. But remember, it's all about the food.